Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Intentional Productivity Tips. My name is Megan. I am your very favorite strategic productivity partner, and I want to thank you for joining us today to talk about productivity tips, and how you can take control of your time and your productivity to enjoy the life that you've created. First and foremost, I want to thank you for joining me. You are watching me on USA Global TV's USA. Why am I having issues today? But I am. Happy Thursday to us all. Let's start that part over again. You are watching me on USA Global TV Radio. USA Global TV Radio. I am having a hard time today. Anyways, you are watching me on our YouTube channel. I am thankful and so happy that you are here, and we are going to get better. I promise. Words, mouth, they're going to work together. Words are going to come out of my mouth in just a few minutes. But as I mentioned, we are talking today about intentional productivity tips. I am your very favorite strategic productivity partner, and I want to thank you again for joining us. Like I said, we are getting better. We're getting used to those words, and we're getting that mind control. So I am excited you've joined me, because today we are having another episode in our series of Productivity Your Way with Simple Mindset Strategies. I think today's episode is going to be useful for you and for all of us, because while sometimes when I bring this up with people, they don't necessarily think of this as productivity, but once we think about it, they do. So let's go ahead and take a look at today's episode and what we're going to be talking about. Today, we are talking about 3 steps to personalizing your productivity workspace. When you think about it, we spend a lot of time at our workspaces, don't we? We spend probably the most time in our workspaces, more times than probably our beds, our homes, our kitchens. Maybe not our cars sometimes, but when you think about it, we do spend a lot of time in our workspaces. So today we want to talk about 3 steps to personalizing them. We're going to talk about why, how, and making them remote so you can take it with you. Again, you are watching me on USA Global TV and Radio's YouTube channel. I want to thank you. And please remember, take time to like, subscribe, and even be notified when new episodes drop. I think you're supposed to do that hand gesture when you say new episodes drop. Anyways, so let's get into it. Let's talk about some important things. Let's talk today about 3 steps to personalizing your productivity workspace. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about again, we're going to talk about intentional organized space equals focused productivity. So let's look at that. Why and how is it that we want to personalize our workspace? Quite frankly, it increases our productivity. Studies have shown, but I think more important than that, ask yourself some questions for just a minute. Ask yourself, of all of the places you've worked or would like to have worked, ask yourself specifically, not the companies, I'm specifically speaking about the buildings, the physical location, the remote location, that workspace where you work. What is the favorite workspace you've ever worked or have wanted to work? Why? What was it about that workspace that drew you in? Was it the comfort? Was it the ability to be focused? Was it the space? These are the questions we want to ask ourselves when we're talking about creating and personalizing our workspace. What we want to start to do is we want to start to ask ourselves why it's worth it to do it. And we know because it increases our productivity. Ask yourself, think about the workspaces that you've worked in, and ask yourself, Isn't a productivity workspace like a magnet? When your environment reflects your style, and your focus will come naturally. And when I say your style, I mean your productivity style. What is it that you need? What is it that will help you to be most productive and focused, right? When you think about it, our workspaces have changed, right? I've been in the work world since the 90s. And in the 90s, of course, I had a desk and an office and a phone and all of those I had a fax. It was before printers, before computers even. But when you think about it, my workspace has changed a lot over the years. And what I've needed in my workspace has changed a lot. And the amount of work and what I've created in the work I've done has also changed over the years. Ask yourself, what do you need from your workspace so you can be your most productive? Because that's an important question to ask. Is it what you're looking at? Is it the physical space you're in? Is it your chair? And I'm going to tell you, yes, a chair is one of the most important things for your workspace, right? But you just want to start to begin to say to yourself, being intentional and personalizing your workspace, taking time to think about it is going to increase your productivity. So it's worth doing. Again, you spend so much time in your workspace. What is it that you need to make yourself, right? What is it that you need to make your workspace the best, the most focused, so that you can really lean in and get done what you need to get done? Remember, we're doing more than we've ever done before. We're tracking more information than we've ever tracked before. So we really need to be intentional about our workspace. So a question, how do we personalize our workspace? What are the things we need to think about? As you can see, I have a lot of graphics that show some of the things that are important about it. Is it your files? Is it your desk? Is it what's on your desk? Do you have a plant? Is it an iPad? What is it that you need to personalize your workspace? When you think about it, your workspace is your productivity zone. Find the right space, create the ideal atmosphere, and surround yourself with things that enhance your focus and energy. Yes, even the perfect pen can help you get into your productivity workflow. So this is where I want to talk some specifics, right? So when you think about it, and this is one thing I love to talk about my clients with, is what is in your workflow specifically? And some of this gets back a little bit to what is it that you like to have? What are some of your processes? Now, we're going to do a little bit of show and tell today. So I know you're excited, so am I. As I've mentioned for you, when it comes to personalizing workspace, it starts again with your space and what tools and accessories, gadgets you need, right? Is it your phone? Is it an iPad? Obviously, the technology things are important and our chargers, right? But then after that, what is it that you need? Is it a notepad? So for example, me, as I've mentioned, I have a notepad that I use, right? You can see it's personalized. It's pictures from me from a great trip to Miraval last August. And then I've got the back and a picture of my sister and I. But this is a notepad. What I've done, I've personalized. I love pictures. I love notepads. It's personalized. Every day I update and I create and I make notes for myself of what I'm going to do. I know I'm a productivity person. I know I work everyone and drive everyone to technology. But sometimes for me, I need a pen and paper to be able to track, right? So that's one thing I use. But you don't have to do that, right? Maybe that's not your preference in your workspace that you want. I have other clients that what they like instead of a pen and paper is maybe they get a dry erase board that's either big or small. And then they're able to update and make notes. Like maybe I have one client who likes to write down, what are the prescriptions? What pills have they taken during the day? What is it you're working on? Who do you need to call? Again, this is a quick way to be able to identify in your workspace, what is it that you need right now? Ask yourself, how can you be most productive? What are the tools, gadgets, and resources? Because in this day and age, there's access to so many, including personalizing our own. Another thing that I like to say, again, thinking about your workspace, thinking about your workflow. For example, I always have a clipboard in my workspace also, because when it comes for me to be creative, like, I don't know, creating a presentation, like 3 steps to personalize your workspace, I always start, I think about it, but then I go to my paper, right? Then I go to my clipboard. So for me, when I think about it, when I think about my workspace to set up, I'm always going to have a clipboard, my markers, and I'm going to have a notepad, right? Those are the things I need to make my workspace Meganized. What we want you to do is to ask yourself, what is it that you would like to picture? What are the things that you need? What are the things that you want to be able to access, right? As you all know, and I have mentioned, for me, I love pens, right? So I have access to any number of pens that I can use on a daily basis, right? So it's important that we begin to ask ourselves, what are the stuff and things? How do we do our job and what do we need for that workspace? But what are the stuff and things that we want to be able to get to that's going to make us happy, that's going to be able to help us to get things done? As I've said, pens. Then you also want to personalize your workspace. Again, you're spending time here, so you want to be in the right flow. You want to be in the right mentality. You want to be happy. Maybe you have some mementos, right? Maybe you have a picture, maybe you have your favorite race car drivers' cars because you like to keep them near, because looking at them, and yes, we're going to say this is Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon's race cars, because it has always been my favorite race car driver. Well, Davey Alice, but we won't get into that. So again, when you think about your workspace, you want to personalize it. I've been showing you things that I've got from my workspace to hopefully get you to spark and think, spark your mind. What do I need to be able to work? Another thing that I love that I have is, because I like to keep my workspace organized, and I actually work between 3 different places on a daily basis because of the seating and sun and different things. So I have found, and I have this handy dandy little Erin Condren caddy that I'm able to use, and it is a desk with me, and it has Post-its that I need, business cards, markers, it has chargers, cute flags. Then on the other side, it has things that I need, like scissors. It has my umbrella, or excuse me, umbrella. It has all of these things that I need when I want to be able to work. Notepads, again. And one other thing that it has, besides my pens and markers that I have, one other thing that I have is, we do team meeting. I work virtually with people. So sometimes you want to celebrate. So sometimes you have things like a flying unicorn that you're able to celebrate with, or even to have a noisemaker. It's important to think about what your workspace is and what you need your workspace to be able to do for you. And so that is why I'm starting to show you things that you can think of that you would want to have in your workspace, because having access to them, having identified the tools that you need, having things close to you. I will be honest with you. For example, one thing that I have in my workspace, I have that is helpful to me. I have a back scratcher, and I also have a nail file. Again, things that at one time I would have thought, oh, that's silly. And again, why am I telling you all these things? To get your mind thinking. What can you put in your workspace to personalize it? Because we know if we personalize our workspace and we're comfortable and we have what we need, we know that we're going to be more productive and we're going to be more comfortable. Being comfortable does help our productivity. Speaking of being comfortable, the third thing we want to think about is our workspace playlist. And when I say this, I'm not talking about the mental playlist that I talk about sometimes. I am talking about the physical sound of your workspace. What is it that you're listening to? Where is it that you're working, and what are the sounds, right? So for example, right now I am in the middle of nowhere on Cobb Mountain. I'm in the middle of 40 acres. And so for me, it is very, very quiet with birds, right? Sometimes some deer, which you can hear a little bit. So for me, the question becomes, what do I want the sound to be like? Because a fact is, your workspace playlist is your secret productivity ingredient. Whether it's mellow, inspiring, or upbeat, the right sound keeps your focus sharp and your flow in mind. Ask yourself, when you're listening to certain music or sounds, does it help you? Does it help get you in the flow? When you're maybe kind of down, low energy, is there some music you can lift to pump you up? I'll be honest with you, before doing this episode, there is a playlist that I listen to of music that pumps me up and I get a little dancing. You're welcome. I will not sing and dance for you. But again, when you think about your workspace playlist, the sounds of your playlist. So I recommend, I have YouTube videos that are for various sounds. I have some of my hoogie boogie yoga music when I want it. I have meditation music when I need to be mellow. I also have inspirational music and gospel music. I have pop music. I have all kinds, right? But what I've done is I've created playlists on my YouTube channels so I can watch the videos if I want. This last Christmas, I'll tell you, it was gray and rainy. And so I found some of those playlists that were like Ireland and music and Christmas music and had the beautiful backgrounds. For me, the beautiful background and the music set a tone. And when that tone was set, I was able to be productive. Can you see how that would help you? Can you see how you're being productive, how you're setting a playlist and being intentional to set that playlist before you? Maybe you have a project you need to work on. Maybe you know, I'm going to do this for 2 hours. So let me set the music that's going to let me be comfortable, that's going to be positive and supportive for me, because your workplace playlist is going to make a difference. The next thing we want to think about is, once we have talked about the how, the what we're doing in our playlist, the next thing we want to think about is, it's important. Remember, we are in a remote world. And as I always say, just add Wi-Fi. We want to not just think about our workspaces at home, which is where we are a lot, but there might be times when we're traveling. And so one of the things we want to identify is, we want to identify how to make our workspace travel ready and mobile, right? What are the things that we could do? So whether you're at the beach in Puerto Rico, whether you're here in the mountains, whether you're in Carlsbad, or whether you're in your favorite Marriott hotel, you're able to take your work and your productivity, your workspace is able to go with you. I will be honest with you, all of the things that I just showed you, next, even the picture and the cars, all of the things that I showed you, whether it be my caddy, whether it be my dry erase board, all of them I can make mobile. All of my travel things, because I do travel and I work other places for weeks at a time. I know that's going to happen several times a year. And so I am prepared for that. So the questions, again, you want to think to yourself are, what do I need to make for my workspace comfortable? And does it need to be remote? Or is there somewhere else that I work where maybe I set it up there? Being intentional with your workspace, whether it's a beach view or anywhere, it's going to increase your productivity. So it is so very important that we take the time to be intentional to say, okay, what else do I need at home? But what do I need to go? Again, for me, as you can see, I always have my laptop. I generally have my iPad. I generally have a notepad and my pens. And so you can see the things that I take with me. That works for me. But as we know with productivity, it is each of us. Productivity is the one place you get to be selfish. So when it comes to setting up your workspace, be selfish, unless you share space with someone else. But when you're thinking of your workspace, make it yours and what you want for yourself. This week, our productivity tip has been steps to personalize your workspace. Because as we know, when we're talking about in the month of May, we're looking at how we can use and make productivity our way with simple productivity and mindset tips. And to me, looking at your productivity, looking at your workspace, thinking about your playlist and how you're going to travel for work, to me, that is a mindset that's important. So take time to identify your plan. As every week, my goal for you is that one thing, at least you'll take one lesson, one takeaway from what we've talked about and incorporate it into your productivity life. We work really, really hard. We work a lot. So it is important that we not only enjoy our lives, but that we also enjoy our workspace. Because believe it or not, as statistics say, if we're comfortable in our workspace, we're going to be more productive. But more important than statistics, I want to ask you, when is it that you're productive and how does your workspace help you? Now that you've identified that, take some time and create and set up your workspace to reflect you so that you can be your most productive. I want to thank you for joining me. Again, I am Megan. I am your very favorite strategic productivity partner. You are watching me on USA Global TV and Radio. I will be here next Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific to talk about more intentional productivity tips. Next week, we're actually going to be talking about preparing your go bag for the summer months, because as we know, that weather is transitioning and so is the calendar. So we need to prepare ourselves as well. So thank you very much for spending time with me today. I want to remind you and encourage you to please take time, be intentional with your productivity, find what works for you, because the good news is your productivity is you get to be completely selfish. It's about what works for you. Make your workspace work for you. And now a word from our sponsors.
In a world full of noise, misunderstandings, and interruptions, master the art of listening with Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is the listening mentor of USA Global TV and Radio and the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening. Elevate your listening. Elevate your life. Join
USA Global TV and Radio, home of the YouTube Silver Creator Award, proudly presents Just the Thing for Your Ring, introducing the patented Ring Thing. Your premium personal ring holder to keep your ring safe, nearby, and avoid loss.
The Ring Thing just got smarter. Add your logo and an NFC tag that opens to your website with one tap. Waterproof, inner padding, and now a forever business card.
Just the thing for your ring. Scan the QR code seen here to learn more about Ring Thing or place your order. Follow Ring Thing on Instagram at ring_thing_ or go to our website ringthing.com.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honored to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA-Global-TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.